The film opens as chocolatier Willy Wonka arrives in a new city on a ship. As he sets off to sell his creations at the Galleries Gourmet. As he walks around the city, he ends up having to give up most of his money, leaving him penniless and without a place to stay. Willy is found by a large man named Mr. Bleacher, who tells him that he does have a place for him. Bleacher brings Willy to the home he shares with Mrs. Scrubbit. They appear friendly, offering Willy gin and a room to sleep, but as Willy is signing their contract, a young girl who works there named Noodle whispers to Willy to read the small print before signing. He doesn't. The next day, Willy goes to the town square to introduce himself to the crowd and present his chocolate creations, which he calls hoverchocks, as they are made with a special flying bug. This catches the attention of 3 local chocolate shop owners, Arthur Slugworth Fickelgruber and Prodnose. They approach Willy and sample the hoverchocks. Despite the looks on their faces indicating they like it, they tell Willy that it's the worst chocolate they have ever tried. They then begin to float as the effects of the bug cause them to fly. Willy lets the rest of the crowd buy the chocolate, but his wares are confiscated by the chief of police, Keegan-Michael Key, and Officer Affable, though Affable leaves Willy with a single sovereign to pay for his room. When Willy goes back to Scrubbit and Bleacher, they present him with a series of absurd charges and force him to work for them for years to pay them off. He is thrown down the laundry chute where he meets other people who were tricked by Scrubbit and Bleacher, Scrub, former accountant Abacus Crunch, plumber Piper Benz, telephone operator Lottie Bell, and failed comedian Larry Chucklesworth. Noodle has the highest debt racked up and must work the longest. In his room, Willy learns that Noodle has never tried chocolate before. After telling her how his mother taught him how to make chocolate and inspired his creativity, he uses his chocolate-making mechanism utilizing special ingredients and creates a special chocolate with a lightning bolt on it. Noodle tries it and admits she likes it but doesn't think she will get to try any again. Willy then begins to hatch an idea for making more chocolate, promising Noodle a lifetime supply. The chief is seen entering a church and going underground through the corrupt Father Julius. He meets with Slugworth, Fickelgruber, and Prodnose, who are unofficially called the Chocolate Cartel. They consider Willy to be a threat since they know his chocolate is delicious, and with him selling it for cheap, they know their business is in danger. The 3 villains proceed to bribe the chief with a huge amount of chocolate in exchange for dealing with Willy, even if it involves lethal means. Willy and Noodle proceed to create a diversion by tricking Scrubbit into thinking Bleacher is some kind of wealthy aristocrat, while also tricking Bleacher into thinking Scrubbit secretly likes him. Willy also creates a machine using their dog Tiddles to do the laundry faster and more efficiently, allowing the other workers to relax. Noodle then accompanies Willy to the zoo since he said he needs giraffe milk for his next creation. They distract a guard using a truffle that essentially makes him drunk, and Willy goes off to find the giraffe. They succeed, and he uses special mints to feed the giraffe, named Abigail, who then allows Willy to milk her. Noodle then shows Willy a ring she wears around her neck that appears to have the letter N, which is how Scrubbit came to call Noodle by her name. She talks about her dream of having a real home and family, and Willy promises to help her find that. When the 2 return home, Willy explains to the other workers what he is doing. Abacus warns him that the Chocolate Cartel not only control the chocolate sales in town, but they also keep documents of their shady dealings, which involve diluting and watering down their chocolate, keeping the excess stored in a vault underground beneath the church, guarded by Father Julius and hundreds of chocoholic monks. Despite knowing the risks, the others agree to help Willy sell his chocolate without interference. Willy starts by using his giraffe milk macaroons to give to a man with a lack of confidence to sweep his girlfriend off her feet. He then sells other delicious products and escapes from the chief by going down storm drains. The chief catches onto the scheme and begins to order men to guard the storm drains, while also dealing with his increasing weight gain from all the chocolate he has been consuming. At night, Willy sets up a trap for a little orange man that has been stealing his chocolates. The trap works, and Willy finds himself meeting an Oompa Loompa named Lofty Hugh Grant. He explains that Willy stole the cocoa beans from Loompaland and ruined his life, so he needs to get back sufficient payment in chocolate so he can return home. Lofty tricks Willy by whacking him with a frying pan and stealing his chocolate. The Chocolate Cartel spies on Willy and sees that Noodle is involved. They appear to recognize her and view her involvement as a problem as well. Slugworth then goes to Scrubbit and Bleacher for a sinister scheme. Noodle gets Willy the keys to the shop in the town square so that he can open up his shop and sell his creations. He eventually opens it to the public, showcasing a variety of beautiful confectionaries like cotton candy clouds, edible flowers, and chocolate trees. The crowd loves everything until they start to find themselves growing hair and having them change colors at an alarming rate. Willie realizes the chocolate has been poisoned with an ingredient called a Yeti sweat and tries to warn everyone. The people turn on Willie and begin to trash his shop, ending with the place catching fire after an angry mother cuts down a chandelier. As Willie sadly sits in the ruins of his shop, he is approached by the chocolate cartel with enough money to clear all of their debts with Scrubbit and Bleacher on the condition that he leaves town and never makes or sells chocolate again. Willie reluctantly agrees and boards a boat out of town. After a while, Lofty reappears, as he believes Willie's debt to him is unsettled. Willie then notices a mark on his hand when Slugworth shook his hand tightly, as his ring appears similar to the one that Noodle has, indicating that she and Slugworth are related. Realizing she is in danger, Willie decides to head back. When he tries to tell the captain, he finds that the boat is rigged with dynamite by the cartel, but he and Lofty jump ship before the boat explodes. Scrubbit allows Abacus, Piper, Lottie, and Larry to go free, but she tells Noodle that Slugworth paid her to keep Noodle there forever, in addition to poisoning the chocolates. Willie joins the other adults in helping to break Noodle free as they plan to break into the chocolate cartel's vault and expose their schemes so that she can be safe. The group gets Abigail out of the zoo as they bring her to the church to frighten Julius and the monks. Willie and Noodle sneak their way underground, only to be found by the cartel and have Slugworth point a gun at them. His relation to Noodle is revealed to be uncle and niece, as she is his brother Zeppy's daughter. He passed away, and her mother asked Slugworth to take care of Noodle while she was sick, but he left her with Scrubbit and told her mother that she died so that he could inherit their family's chocolate fortune. The villains then throw Willie and Noodle into their vault in an attempt to drown them in chocolate, but first, Willie gives Slugworth a jar of his chocolate to give to Lofty if he sees him, but the three jerks eat all of it. Just before the vault completely fills up, Lofty comes upon the church and drains the vault, mostly so Willie can repay his debt. Just as Slugworth, Fickelgruber, and Pranos start to make their way out, Willie and Noodle emerge with their ledger that exposes their crimes. Affable takes the book and sees the chief's name in it. While the chief is arrested, the cartel attempts to flee, but they find themselves beginning to float again. Willie explains that they ate hoverchocks with a delayed reaction but a stronger flying power. Thinking that their reserves can keep them out of jail, Willie activates the fountain in the town square so that their chocolate bursts out, effectively ruining them and causing them to uncontrollably fly out of town. The townsfolk then proceed to sample the chocolate since it contains Willie's ingredients. Willie returns to selling his chocolate, and he takes out the last bar his mother made before she died, which is left with a note stating that it is not important how chocolate is made, but who it is made and shared with. He then shares with Noodle, Abacus, Piper, Lottie, and Larry, before revealing that they all made a few calls and tracked down Noodle's mother, Dorothy Smith. She works at a library, and Willie brings Noodle to finally meet her mother. Willie and Lofty then go to an abandoned castle, where Willie plans to start creating more of his signature confections. Although Lofty feels the debt is repaid, he admits that he is not very popular in Lumpaland. Willie offers him a position working with him, to which Lofty agrees. Soon, Willie establishes what will become his world-famous chocolate factory.